Good afternoon. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Heimdallr 6105 Willard Turtle Homage. This watch is available from watchdives.com for $159 US. You can use the discount code WR4K to get $15 US discount off that price. So firstly, let's look at the box that the watch comes in, and then I'll talk you through the other items one gets with a piece. So the Heimdallr 6105 Turtle Homage comes in a black cardboard watch box, which is protected by this white cardboard outer sleeve, which one removes. This is the watch box itself. Now one removes the lid and the watch sits inside a foam cutout panel, as one would expect. One can remove the foam cutout panel, and there is also a second foam panel, and underneath that is where the watch bracelet resizing tool, the spring bar tool and the warranty card are housed. So although basic, it does suffice in protecting the watch in shipping, and I think it's perfectly acceptable, bearing in mind that this is a low tier price point piece, to use a cardboard watch box. With regards to the other items, this is the bracelet resizing tool which comes with a watch. It's always nice to see this included with a watch. It makes resizing the push pins in the bracelet easy. With the watch, one also gets a spring bar tool, and as you can see there is a push pin at one end and a two-pronged fork at the other end for removing spring bars if you want to change the bracelet for a rubber strap or NATO strap. And lastly, one also gets a Heimdallr warranty card, and as you can see it's stamped and filled in with the reference number and the date of purchase. Now, usually Heimdallr watches are covered by a 12-month international warranty, which is very reassuring. But however, if you purchase the watch from watchdives.com, I'm pleased to report that that warranty is extended and the watch is covered by a 3-year international warranty, which is very good. So, with regards to the specification of the piece, if you purchase this watch from watchdives.com, you will also receive a waffle strap. So that is in addition to the bracelet that the watch comes on. The watch is clearly an homage to the Seiko Willard Turtle, reference 61058110. So for those of you that are unaware, I will explain where the Willard Turtle nickname comes from. The watch is named after Captain Willard. Martin Sheen played Captain Willard in the film Apocalypse Now. And in the 1970s, Vietnam soldiers wore Seiko turtles, and they then became nicknamed Willard Turtles due to Captain Willard. So as this is an homage to the Willard Turtle, it has very similar proportions to the 6105. It has a 44mm case diameter. It has a 47mm lug-to-lug measurement. The thickness is 13.6mm and the bracelet width is 20mm. Now, the original 6105 Willard Turtle had a 19mm lug width, which was popular in the 1970s, but by modern standards it's rather unusual. 20 and 22mm are now the industry standards. So Heimdallr have made the correct decision by increasing the lug width from 19mm, which was the original 6105 size, to 20mm. The 20mm lug width better balances the 44mm head of the piece. So slight taper on the 20mm bracelet, down to the 2-button push flip lock clasp, which is signed with Heimdallr and the shark logo to a high standard. Solid 316L grade stainless steel case to the tonneau case. Coin edge finished bezel, and we have a ceramic bezel insert which is finished to a high standard. Loom pip in the triangle at 12 o'clock. The dial layout follows the classic Seiko 61058110 Willard Turtle dial layout. Similar style hands to the original Seiko and similar style second hand. The date complication is framed in silver, which does complement the dial, and the sapphire crystal has blue tinted AR coating on the underside, and as you can see it's very effective. When I tilt the piece in the light, it does reduce the glare and the highly reflective nature of the silver applied indices, silver frame around the date window, and also the silver hands. The blue tint of the AR coating is very aesthetically pleasing, and there is a nice large bevel machined on the edge of the sapphire crystal which also catches the light. The blue tinted sapphire crystal does complement the black ceramic bezel insert, and it is finished to a very high standard, as is the finishing to the coin edge solid 316L grade stainless steel bezel. Case polishing is exceptional. Concentric brushed satin finishing to the tops of the case, mirror polishing to the undercut bevel on both flanks of the case. So very similar case shape to the Seiko 6105 Turtle, and it's got the enhancement of a screw down crown. The original Seiko Turtle 6105 had a screw lock crown, which was slightly different. It didn't screw down In the conventional manner, it had a clockwise and anti-clockwise lock, and the problem with that is often the pin which locks the crown sheared, and therefore the crown spun round and round rather than locking against the locking pin. So the conventional screw-down crown design is actually better with an internal thread on the solid stainless steel crown and an external thread on the stainless steel crown tube. It provides a better hermetic seal to 200 meters of water resistance. So it's coin edge finished, but there are also milled flats which are very close to the original Seiko 105 turtle design. It's unsigned, but I like the flat mirror polished cap to it. So let's test the bezel action. 120 click unidirectional bezel as one would expect. No lateral side-to-side play whatsoever. No back play whatsoever. It's a very tight bezel action. It feels very similar to a Seiko bezel action, similar to a Seiko Turtle, or alternatively the SKX 007 if you're familiar with that. So I'll just test the alignment, and I'm pleased to report that the Lume triangle pip aligns perfectly with the 12 o'clock index on the dial. So very good bezel action. It's firm, good solid resistance, and it feels even all the way through the 360 degrees of rotation. So I'll just check the alignment again. Absolutely perfect. Now, with regards to the applied indices and also the baton style hands, I like the fact it is an homage to the 6105 Willard Turtle, and it has the same dial layout, clearly legible, and it's C3 Super Luminova on the applied indices and the baton hands, which is an excellent choice. So let's test the crown action. Screw down crown, absolutely silky smooth. Good firm resistance to the crown. One can feel the threading between the internal thread of the stainless steel crown and the external thread of the crown tube. I like the firm resistance. It's got good tight O-rings inside the crown and also on the crown, the stem, which means there's going to be a good hermetic seal. One can feel the O-rings gripping the winding stem and also the crown tube, and I like that resistance. So in the first position, it's the manual wind position, and one can manually wind the movement to top up the power reserve to its maximum 40 hours. The movement used is the Seiko NH35A automatic, which is made in Japan. Pulling it out to the first click position is the quick set date complication, and as you can see looking at the date window, the quick set date complication works as one would expect. Pulling it out to the final click is the time setting position. Absolutely silky smooth in both clockwise and anti-clockwise directions, so it's an absolute pleasure to set the time. One of the benefits of the NH35A automatic is it has hacking, and as you can see, when I've pulled out the crown to the final time setting position, it hacks the movement. The second hand stops dead. Pushing it back in, nice positive click, and that restarts the movement. You can see the second hand beginning to sweep around the dial again. So I'll screw it back down. Absolutely silky smooth. Heimdallr deserve full credit because this is a very good crown action. Feels very similar to Seiko screw down crowns on the SRP series of Turtle or the SKX 007 for example, if you're familiar with that. It's got that characteristic Seiko style feeling to the crown thread, and I like the resistance of the NH35A. The winding stem has a good firm spring-loaded resistance when pushing the crown back in, so very effective 200 meter hermetic seal. The case back is solid 316L grade stainless steel, finished to a very high standard, mirror polished and beautifully engraved, and as you can see it also has the Heimdallr shark logo. The quality of the engraving is very good, and it's very impressive, bearing in mind that this is a low tier piece at only $159. Brush satin finishing to the underside of the case, and the screw down crown provides an effective hermetic seal to 200 meters. Solid end links are a good tight fit to the case and also finished to a high standard. With regards to the oyster style bracelet, good tight fit of the end links to the tonneau style case, and also the quality of the brush satin finishing to the top side and underside is done to a high standard. Beautiful luster to the 316L grade stainless steel, flawless mirror polishing to the flanks of the bracelet, and we have push pins as per Seiko. Personally, I would prefer to see Heimdallr upgrade the push pins to screw pins, but however, bearing in mind that this is a low tier piece at only $159, it is acceptable to use push pins. 2-button push flip lock clasp is well executed, however I would prefer to see them lengthen the clasp, and that would allow for 4 or 5 micro adjustment holes to be drilled in the clasp. 3 really is the minimum, and I would prefer to see a longer clasp with greater micro adjustment. I think it would benefit from 4 or 5 holes. The flip block is a good tight fit, nice recess for the thumbnail or fingernail underneath the flip block, and the 2-button push triggers have a good firm resistance. Solid milled stainless steel interior to the clasp, brush satin finish to the top side, underside and flanks, and it is finished to a high standard. Nice to see a solid milled clasp rather than a pressed metal clasp as per Seiko, which is a cost cutting measure. So Heimdallr deserve full credit for making a very well executed piece. So I'll give you a wrist shot and you can see how it fits on my 8-inch wrist. Good positive click to the 2-button push flip lock, good positive secondary click, so it's a good tight clasp. Now I haven't sized the bracelet, I've simply taken it out of the watch box, and as you can see I'm pleased to report it fits my 8-inch wrist with no difficulty whatsoever. I can easily slip an index finger underneath the bracelet at all times, so this would actually fit up to a 9-inch wrist, which is very good. Now as you can see, for a larger wrist, the 44mm tonneau case fits my 8-inch wrist to perfection. The 47mm lug-to-lug measurement is the perfect proportion for the 44mm head of the piece. I consider 48mm to be the sweet spot, so at 47mm it's very close to perfection. The large bevel undercut to the tonneau case means that it wraps around the wrist very well, and it's very comfortable to wear for long periods of time, because when one articulates the wrist, if you bend your hand back towards the wrist, the undercuts on either side of the cushion tonneau case mean that the wrist and the hand can bend underneath the case. So although it's a large piece at 44mm with great wrist presence, it is very comfortable due to the tonneau cushion case. The undercuts make it a very comfortable piece to wear. Now it is a large piece at 44mm and it does have heft. It's 185 grams with all the links in the oyster style bracelet. So that's something to bear in mind. If you're a collector with a smaller wrist of 6 to 7 inches, you may find the 185 grams of heft to be too heavy. Personally, I consider circa 150 grams to be the sweet spot. Nice feeling of heft on the wrist, but also comfort when wearing a piece for long periods of time, such as 8 to 12 hours per day. 185 grams really is a heavy piece. So you could significantly improve the comfort of this piece by wearing it on a NATO strap, alternatively a rubber strap. And of course, if you have a smaller wrist of 6 to 7 inches, you'll be removing 3 or 4 links from the oyster style bracelet, and that will of course reduce the heft from 185 grams, which is its maximum, down to circa 160 grams, which will improve the comfort. The ceramic bezel insert is absolutely beautiful to look at, nice glossy finish to it, which complements the flat sapphire crystal, which is blue tinted AR coating, as you can see. It's just an absolutely gorgeous piece to look at, very comfortable piece to wear on the wrist, and I love the turtle tonneau case. It's just beautiful to look at. So they've done an outstanding job of an homage to the 6105 Willard turtle, because it has some modern day enhancements such as sapphire crystal with AR coating and ceramic bezel insert. The original Willard turtle had an aluminium bezel insert, which of course was softer and more prone to being scuffed and scratched. Right, so let's test the loom, because I've got high expectations of it. It's C3 Superluminova, and as you'll know from my previous reviews, C3 Superluminova is a personal favourite of mine. I like the characteristic green tone, which reminds me of tritium. So I'm going to charge it up, as always, with my 100 UV LED torch to its absolute maximum. Right, so that's now fully charged, and I'm pleased to report that this has not disappointed. This is outstanding loom quality. I regard it to be equal in quality to Seiko Lumibrights, which is the very best of loom. This is top grade C3 Superluminova. It is 10 out of 10 performance. Nice large loom plots on the applied indices. The loom pip on the ceramic bezel insert is glowing brightly. On the baton hands we also have large plots of loom. It's glowing very brightly and it's continuing to glow for a good length of time. This really is incredible loom. To get this at only $159 in the low tier is exceptional, and Heimdallr deserve full credit for not cutting any corners. For example, they could have used the cost-cutting measure of C3 Luminova, but this is C3 Superluminova, which is the very best. They've made the correct choice by using C3, which is green, rather than BGW9, which is blue, so I absolutely love it. Very good loom performance. Right, so let's discuss the movement used. You will all be familiar with the Seiko NH35A automatic. Made in Japan, it has 24 joules and it runs at 21,600 vibrations per hour and a frequency of 3 Hz. Reliable, well-proven workhorse movements. It has hand winding and hacking, which are useful complications. The stated accuracy of the NH35A is -20 to +40 seconds per day. Now, I'm pleased to report that this one has been well regulated and it is running at +7 seconds per day when the movement is fully wound to its maximum 40 hours of power reserve. To get plus 7 seconds per day accuracy from a watch that only costs $159 is incredible. Heimdallr deserve full credit for regulating the NH35A movements to a very high standard. So it's accurate, it's a reliable, well-proven workhorse movement, and the Seiko NH35A is the correct choice for this watch. So lastly, I'll summarise the piece. What do I think of it overall? Well, when I'm considering reviewing a watch on my channel, the watch should meet two criteria. It should be both excellent quality and excellent value at the respective price point. $159 and of course you can use the discount code WR4K to get $15 discount off that $159 price point. This is excellent quality and this is excellent value. It cannot be beaten. If you're looking for a Seiko 6105 Willard Homage, this is it. There really isn't a better version. So at $159 minus the $15 discount, it is incredible quality and incredible value. I'm going to declare it a champagne watch for lemonade money. The only enhancements or upgrades I would like to see screw pins, upgrading the push pins in the bracelet, and as I've discussed, I would like to see the clasp lengthened to have 4 or 5 micro adjustment holes. But however, this is subjective. Many collectors like push pins and many collectors like the 2-button push flip lock clasp as it is. So I think that the watch is outstanding and I think that I'm going to highly recommend it to you for your consideration. I absolutely love everything about it. It is a very good Seiko 6105 Willard Turtle Homage watch. So I hope you've enjoyed my review of the Heimdallr 6105 Homage. Please feel free to post your own comments below the video. Thank you very much.